Not peace, but division. Not the gentle calm we expect, but fire, sword, and war. That's how this saying begins, and it unsettles us from the very first line. Perhaps people think I have come to bring peace upon the earth, but they do not know that I have come to bring division upon the earth. Fire, sword, and war. For 5 will be in one house, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3, father against son, and son against father, and they will stand apart, alone. Why a word that divides when we long for reconciliation? Why a blade when we seek healing? It is as if the text leads us into a house of 5, a place where those who dwell together stand against one another, a vision of inner conflict, and at the same time, an invitation to uncover the hidden meaning of this division. In this video on Saying 16 of the Gospel of Thomas, we explore this mystery between peace and fire, between division and the clarity that can grow from it. When we think of the Messiah, we expect peace, an end to all conflict, a harmony that embraces everything. But this saying breaks that expectation. It says, not this peace, not the calm that the world knows. For the peace of this world is often only an inner compromise, a quietness that comes because one ignores the inner divide, a silence that covers the questions but never answers them. It is the peace we perform for ourselves when we hide from conflict, adjust, and avoid taking risks. But this peace does not last. It is fragile because it is built on avoidance, not on truth. The peace this saying speaks of is different. It begins with unrest, with a crack that reveals what has long been hidden. That is what makes these words so sharp. They pull us out of false security. They ask us to look deeper than we usually dare. As the medieval German mystic Meister Eckhart said, "Peace that the world gives is nothing, for it stands upon the temporal." It already hints at what is to come. The division spoken of here is no accident. It is a necessary step for something real to grow. The words of this saying sound unsettling. Fire, sword, war. They seem like a threat, and yet they open a deeper layer of meaning. Fire destroys, but it also purifies. It burns away what cannot endure. Like gold in the crucible, it loses its dross and becomes clear. The sword divides. It cuts truth from falsehood, the mask from the face, the seeming from the real. It is not aimed at others, but at the deception within ourselves. And war. Not the war of nations, but the war within. The struggle of the soul when it must choose to remain in comfort or to follow truth, even when it wounds. As the Hermetic writings say, the soul becomes pure only when it separates itself from what is lower and chooses what is higher. These images are not a call to outer violence. They are inner signs. They remind us that truth does not knock gently. It demands a break. It comes not without a crack, not without fire, not without the sword. And it is precisely there, where this inner struggle begins, that the saying leads us deeper, into the house of five, where the division becomes visible. For there will be 5 in one house, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. A mysterious image, a house, and within it 5 people, not united but divided. The house is more than a building. It is a symbol of the human being, of the inner world where many voices live together. The mind says, "Hold on to what is safe." The heart replies, "Go where your longing leads you." The senses reach toward the world. The spirit seeks the origin. And in the middle of it all, tension. The number 5 is not chosen by chance. It is the number of the human being. 5 senses, 5 fingers. Life standing in the middle. But it is also a number of division. Not complete like 9, not ordered like 4, but caught in between. Tested, stretched, unsettled. Thus the saying reveals, division begins within. Not outside, not in the politics of the world, but in the house of your own soul. Blaise Pascal, the great thinker, described this inner conflict in his Pensées. Man is only a reed, the weakest in nature, but he is a thinking reed, fragile, because he is divided within himself, yet capable, because he can recognize that division and search for its meaning. Before peace can come, the house of 5 must pass through conflict. Only when the masks fall can clarity grow, and that clarity leads to the next threshold. The solitude that begins when one leaves behind everything once familiar. At the end of the saying it is written, "And they will stand alone." Solitude, not as punishment, but as the result of awakening. For those who no longer cover the inner conflict, who allow the break to happen, will first find themselves alone. It is the moment when old certainties fall apart. The approval of others no longer carries you. The comfortable harmony is gone. And what remains is the bare existence before God. That may sound harsh, but it is also a chance. Because right there, where no other voice can drown it out, your own voice begins to be heard. The truth that was once silent starts to stir within you. As Meister Eckhart said, the human being should become free of all things, as he was, before he ever was. To become free means to be released, to no longer be bound by false securities. And so solitude becomes the gate through which the light can enter. Perhaps this being alone is the true preparation for peace. Not the peace of the world, but the peace of the heart, born from truth itself. And so the view opens to the final secret of this saying. That division is not the end. but the threshold behind which a hidden peace awaits. The saying strikes like a blade. It speaks of division, of fire, of war. And yet it does not lead us into chaos, but into a hidden clarity. For without fire there is no purification. Without the sword, no discernment. Without division, no truth that can separate itself from illusion. True peace does not come by avoiding the fracture. It grows when we walk through it, when we endure the inner tension until the false dissolves and only what is lasting remains. Origen, the early church father, once said, "The word of God is living and active. It is sharper than any double-edged sword, and it lays bare the thoughts of the heart." So, this saying reveals, division is not the end, but a beginning, a gate through which you must pass if you wish to find true peace. Perhaps peace begins at the very moment you no longer fear the breaking, but accept it as the threshold into light.